What's happening, guys? So back with another reverse diet update. This is for week 8. I hope you guys are liking this. I hope you still appreciate it. Like if this is getting old, if you don't really care to see it anymore now that we're a couple months in, please let me know. But as long as there's still some desire for it and still some appreciation for it, and you feel like you're getting some out of it, I'll just keep doing them, and I'll do them until I start cutting again if people find value from it. But anyway, week 8 is now done, and I saw a pretty big spike on the scale this week. Now, here's where we have to not just only look at the weekly average. So I talk a lot about how, hey, don't look at individual days, weight fluctuates on a daily basis, we need to look at averages, it's a lot more accurate. Now, that is true. I stand behind that 100%. However, we also have to sometimes look at some other things as well, and that's exactly what we were doing this week. So while my weight did start to spike this week and climbed, especially early in the week, it climbed quite a bit. I think that was one because my buddy Rel from Strength Team was in town, and man, this guy just gets after it. And we had some really killer training sessions, some stuff that I haven't done in a long time, and I was pretty tired and sore from that. So you're aware, I will have a video coming up, hopefully next week, where I'm putting together some of this cool footage that we took together and make a video out of that. Really awesome guy. Definitely recommend checking him out. His channel is really taken off in the last year, and deservedly so. And anyway, so my weight was spiked up a little bit because of that, but as you can see here, it also started to trickle back down again. And now, even though my weight is up about 2 pounds from the previous week on average, if you look at last week at this time versus this week at this time, like the final weigh-ins of each week, my weight this week was actually a little bit lower than the same day the previous week. And as you can see, the weight's starting to trend back down again. So I think that's a combination of some inflammation going away, my metabolism starting to speed up again. We have both also noticed that while my weight may be coming up, I don't seem to be much less lean. I just feel like I'm really filling out really well. Like I feel like with this new training program, this pretty high volume, high intensity training program, coupled with getting some calories back in my life, that I am now like really efficiently building muscle. Like I feel like I'm making some really good progress. Things are filling out. Obviously glycogen stores are starting to fill up, so that's going to account for some of the weight. You know, if calories are low, if carbs are low, your muscles aren't going to hold as much glycogen. Once they start filling back up, that's going to create more weight. So with every gram of glycogen, there's also 3 grams of water that's held with it. So we have to factor that in, maybe some increased muscle mass. I'm not quite as lean, but I feel like I'm pretty dang close to as lean as I was when I started, and I'll put it side by side here so you can see. So this is also kind of goes back to, hey, we can't only look at body weight, right? There's a lot of factors that get involved here. So even though weight is increasing, I'm still looking pretty good. Like I'm actually really extremely happy with how I look right now. Like I'm very pleased. I look fuller. I feel like I look better. And even though weight's up, I'm actually totally fine with it because I feel like I look better. Like I really like this, and I feel better as well, so that's a win. With that, even though my weight has come up quite a bit, on average, Paul still wants to make an increase. So he gave me another 10 grams of carbs this week. So that brings me to 370 grams of carbs now and 2,920 calories total. So here's another thing too that tells me that my metabolism is definitely increasing and things are changing. So this is something that not a lot of people talk about, and this is what I suspected, but I also wanted to get confirmation from Paul to see if he agreed. I have been really hot lately, like extremely hot. Like I'm sitting around and just like sweating and just like dying. I've been so hot all the time, and I'm cranking down the air, and it's just like been brutal. And what I asked him, and what I said I suspected that it was, is because my metabolism is increasing. So metabolism increases, your hormones start to improve, you start to get a better thermic effect of food and exercise and everything else. So you create extra thermogenesis, and therefore you create extra heat inside the body. All right, so I asked him, he said, absolutely, that's it. 100%. You're hotter now because you have more heat coming from your body. You have a higher thermic effect of food and all that. So your metabolism increasing, and therefore you're feeling it. So that's something not a lot of people talk about. I should probably make that its own video at some point. But anyway, yeah, that can be a sign too that your metabolism is increasing if you find that you're hot all the time. I was basically like, well, either my metabolism is increasing or I'm going through menopause. I don't know which one it is, but it's got to be one of those two. So anyway, going back to the numbers here, I wanted to point something out because I talked about this either last week or the week before about how most of the increases have been coming through carbs. And if you look back here, Since week 3, so now the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, my fat has stayed the same. I've stayed at 8 grams of fat, and my carbs have gone from 322 grams to 370 grams. So protein, fat the same. All increases have come through carbs. Does that make carbs magical? No, not really, but at the same time, like Paul said, it just seems like, especially when somebody's lean and you start a reverse diet, it seems like the body tends to do a lot better with carbs over fat. Whereas if you increase fat a little bit faster, it seems like the body wants to store a little bit of fat versus carbs in this particular window, in this particular exercise. So does that make fat something horrible that you should stay away from? No, it's just something, okay, this is one strategy we can take to maybe be a little bit more efficient. But if you absolutely love fat and hate carbs, then it would make more sense to probably increase through fat as well, and not just only through carbs. Especially if it's going to keep you on your diet and it's going to keep you hitting your numbers. So it's like, maybe increasing carbs more frequently at a faster rate is more optimal, but if it's going to cause you to overeat and binge and not stick to your plan, well then in that case you'd be better off making more increases through fat. All right, so we always have to think the big picture here and always think about everything and not just what's physiologically most optimal. So overall, things are still going really well. All right, so we're 8 weeks in, about a little bit over 3 pounds up from the very beginning, but my calories are up, where is it here? 679 calories from the start, so that's fantastic. You're making a decent increase each week. I'm creeping close to that 3,000 calorie mark, which is awesome. Still same thing as always. Every single week I seem to report the same thing right now. I just have an appetite. Not hungry, just an appetite. So like, I'm not sitting around like, oh, I'm so hungry all the time. But once I eat, I don't want to stop eating ever. Like I eat my meal and I'm like, man, I just feel like I want to keep eating. I just like have this desire to eat. Once I start, it's hard to stop. And that's normal. You know, that's leptin levels being off. So I mean, it's still going to take some time. I dieted for a long time. I dieted for 6 months. So it's going to take time for hormones to get back to where they were and everything to be kind of functioning normally. But there's been a lot of improvements. My energy levels have been through the roof in the gym. I've been crushing my training, crushing my nutrition. Things are going really well overall. So I'm pretty happy with things. So that's what I got this week. Any questions, please let me know, and I'll update you again next week.
I'm addicted to the love that you're giving. Every minute, every day I've been craving.